Good morning. My name is Treva.
And I'm Kevin.
And you're watching the Treva
And Kevin Show.
Well, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. You always get up so chipper. What's the secret why you're always so happy?
You know, because I'm excited. All of our viewers, they get to tune in to watch us, and we get to inspire you from where you are.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't really matter where you are in life today. Everybody needs some motivation.
That's right.
And you need a little inspiration. The things that make the difference in this world is inspiration.
That's
Where
right.
are you going to get it? You're going to get it at the Treva and Kevin Show.
That's right.
Starting in a few minutes. Here we go.
Oh, yes. So do you like to save money at the grocery store, Kevin?
Well, yes. Everybody likes to save money all the time.
Well, I have a guest for you today, and this woman is the Coupon Queen.
The Queen. Hello.
And we want to introduce her. She's a motivational speaker. She's an author. She's got several books, and she's our guest today.
Well,
so, ladies and gents, welcome AnnHaney.
Ann, welcome.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Great to be
Glad
here.
to see you today.
So, how are you this morning?
Oh, I am wonderful. God is good.
Thank you for joining us on our show
I wanted her to already
today.
start telling me how to save some money.
Well, I'm telling you because we need to know. Okay, we're going to jump right into it. Can you save us some money at the grocery store?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Anybody
first
can
of all,
save
I
money.
see that you have something here, Kevin, that says Successful Couponing.
Yes.
By AnnHaney. How to cut costs using coupons. Okay, so tell us what this is all about.
Well, basically, anybody can coupon. I believe anybody can do anything they set their mind to do.
Okay.
So my story actually began from a time about 13 years ago when I went through a difficult time, was actually homeless with 5 children, and lived in a tent for a while and ate from the food banks and realized the world was a lot bigger than the 4 walls that I lived within. And so that was a great thing because it opened my eyes to the needs around me. And so I kind of made a promise to the Lord that if I could ever give back something to help other people after I had got through my circumstances, that I would. And so in 2009, I got my opportunity. I started couponing to save money for my family because we were going through the rough, roll of the economy and how things were.
Like a lot of viewers today are facing.
Exactly. And so during that time, I thought, let's see if couponing really works. Well, it did. It saved my family $800 a month.
What did you do with $800
Get you a new
a month?
car, go on a trip.
That's right.
Man, we'd wear out some cheeseburgers. Isn't it true?
Oh, you'd eat better than cheeseburgers.
It makes me happy.
That's right. That's right. That's a lot.
$800 a month.
That's incredible.
Yes.
So how did you do it?
I dropped my grocery bill all the way down to $60 a week for a family of 8.
How?
Yeah, how did you do it? Where'd you get the coupons?
I need to know.
Well, the coupons come from your Sunday paper mostly.
Okay.
But I've actually just released a book on smartphone couponing because we all know the smartphone is the way to go now, so you have that coupon with you at all times.
Yes.
And so that's actually very beneficial as well. But learning to match the coupon with the sale and not being an extreme couponer. Now, I teach it in balance because I think that's very important. So many times, we can be really extreme in different areas of our life, and when you get out of balance, that's not a good place to be.
Okay, so bring us back. How much time did you spend to save $800 a month in looking at those coupons?
Well, when I first started out, I spent more time than I needed to because I'm going to just be real honest. I was a coupon addict like most people at first because it's fun when you're saving hundreds of dollars. You're looking for that next deal. But then I realized how important that balance was, and it actually was kind of a funny story because my kids came in one night. I was sitting on the computer looking for my next deal, and they said, "Mom, when are we going to eat supper?" And I said, "We'll eat in a little bit. We'll eat in a little bit." And they said, "But what time will that be?" And I said, "Well, what time is it?" And they said, "Well, it's 8 o'clock." And I said, "Oh my goodness, I forgot to feed my kids." And so I realized that I was a little extreme. I needed to slow down. You can. And so I got it down to an hour a week. That's the amount of time.
So you teach people how to coupon.
Exactly, and how to coupon in a balanced way for your family, not to compete with other people, not to, beat your best friend's savings record, but to make a difference in your household.
So tell me, give us a story, if you will, of a great experience you've had since couponing. Like, what was the most you've ever saved? Can you have a story for us?
I was top saver of the day at Publix one time. It was exciting. My receipt was 6 feet 8.5 inches long. We measured it. It's at home. We wanted to frame it. It was great. But it was exciting because I matched those deals up. You buy in multiples, not 100 boxes of cereal by any means, as you've seen, in places before that do that. But you know, just in a balanced way, and I saved almost $300 on one receipt.
Oh my goodness, Kevin, that is amazing.
Well, you know, the interesting part that you shared with me earlier, we were talking about that you were able to help the food banks.
Oh,
Tell
absolutely.
us about that.
Yeah, when I teach coupon classes, I make it a point to encourage them to either support one local food bank or their church food bank, whichever case it may be. But I usually do a flyer or a handout of the needs of that particular food bank so that they can give back. Because especially many times we don't think about things like deodorants and soaps and things that people can't get when they're on food stamps. And so we need to think outside of that normal box that we think inside.
So how many people?
You are amazing.
She is.
You know, when I hear that,
and she's helped a lot of people.
It's bigger than her. It's bigger than her family. You know, it's almost like the multiplying when you saw when the little boy came and said, I've got 2 fish and 5 loaves. And he fed the thousands because he had a commitment. I'm so excited about when you can. So, you know, tell us how the viewing audience can get in touch with you and find out these secrets.
Oh, absolutely. You can go to my website. It's AnnHaney.com. Very, very simple, just my name.
Wow. So what inspires you? I mean, being homeless, that's a whole, some people
Is that a shocker?
Some people can't relate to being homeless, being out on the street. Describe that time in your life. Did you feel that God was there? Did you feel that you were alone during that time?
You know, it was a difficult time, one I never thought I would be in. But if I had to do it all over again, I would say in a heartbeat, because it just really changed my view. But it took some really reevaluating life, viewing what was important, teaching my children during that time to look at life, you know, and look at the world as a great big opportunity. And that's how we had to view that, because when you lose your home, you know, and all the things that you're familiar with, you have to go, you know what, this is going to be an adventure, because now we can go anywhere, we can do anything, the world is open to us. Before we lived inside 4 walls. And so, you know, everyone comes to that crossroad where they have to determine, am I going to remain a victim, or am I going to become an overcomer and an achiever?
I love
and so that's what I decided to do.
And you
with
know,
my children.
in our story, like Kevin, no one ever knows if they're going to be homeless.
You
never know if you're going to be a paycheck away from being unemployed. Come on.
Well, listen to this lawyer. There is no such thing as financial security. It's only insecurity. And what an inspirational story.
Oh, yes.
And who knows, you know, like we talked about, some people say, well, this is the end of my life. I've lost my home. I can't do anything.
That's right.
You're not going to knock her out. She's not going to give up.
But you had a will to keep going.
She did.
And that's what our show is so, it touches a lot of people, because we inspire people, and we like to bring people on the show.
Come on,
Kevin, that inspire people.
Where are you going to find her?
From couponing. You took a situation and turned it into gold. Literally, God, through your ministry. And you have some books here. I mean, you didn't stop there.
Just keep
You kept going. Tell us about this book here, Single Steps in a Married World. What's that all about?
Yeah, that's my most recent book. It's been out almost 3 months, going on 3 months. God has opened doors for me to speak in several states across the United States already on that book. You know, many women wear a mask of self-confidence, although down below the surface, there's things that they're struggling with. There's things from their past that's been said to them, things from maybe their present relationship, or even things through the coworkers that have beat them down, where they feel codependent on people to be successful. And so if they can step out of that and realize that all they really need is God, and they need His purpose in their life, they can overcome those things and become all that God wanted them to be.
And you know,
she needs to motivate you and me. I mean, when I hear this,
I'm motivated.
I am inspired.
I'm inspired.
Yes, Ann, what a beautiful story.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to comprehend it, because
it's a lot.
it is the truth.
But it is the truth. It's real. What you've experienced, people in this camera right here, they are experiencing right now,
Oh,
Ann.
absolutely.
And so when they come to you and they say, Ann, your message has changed my life, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel humble that God would really use me.
Come on.
Because
through couponing.
Through
couponing.
Yeah, I know that's just crazy.
It is, but I love it.
I love it.
Because you're helping some, and you know, if you give a man a fish, you feed him a day.
Okay.
If you teach a man
Come on,
fish,
Mr. Kennedy.
you fed him a lifetime.
Uh-oh, watch out.
And let me say something on that too. You know, you can give people too much and create more need. You know, you can, you know, when we were in that time, there was times when people were giving to us, but it was so easy to stay in that place. And I think even in giving, we must have that balance, because we don't want to keep people where they're at. We want to elevate them and help them move up.
Well, we're going to stay right there and talk more about elevation with AnnHaney.
Inspiration, elevation, and some motivation.
You know, inspiration that you can feel.
That is real.
Doesn't that feel good?
It's real.
All right, we're going to come right back more. You're going to come back with us?
Absolutely.
You promise?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right, don't touch that dial, I promise. It's
Everybody's going to be looking for a newspaper to get the coupons out right now, Tree.
More with Treva and Kevin. We're back right here at the Treva and Kevin Show.
Yes, we are.
We told you we'd be back.
What an interesting. I've been baffled because I hear about when you don't have any money, but you're still able to help the food banks.
Okay.
You know, isn't it great?
I think
really
so.
What it takes some creativity. And, you know, when we were in the break, we're still shocked about hearing $800 a month out of a budget.
That's
and
right.
And then being knocked down when you got nothing. And keep on going.
And keep going.
Brush them off. I hope you'll brush me off.
So I'm looking at this. Here's another. This is a workbook.
Yep.
And it's by AnnHaney. And this says Exploding into Successful Entrepreneurship.
Come on.
Tell us what this is all about.
Well, that's the workbook to the companion actual book that tells a lot of my story about going from homelessness. And I tell people, you don't have to have money to make money. My very first book that I started out with, you know, I produced it at Kinko's and just kind of jumped out of the boat and felt like if I had a need for this book, somebody else did too.
Love it.
And the Lord just blessed that, and it grew into residual income. And then the one thing that really came from was my children. I wanted my children not to live as I had grew up or my grandparents had grew up from paycheck to paycheck, but I wanted them to discover what their God-given purpose was, because in your purpose is where your provision lies.
Right.
And so I wanted them to find that.
It's very good.
4 of my 6 children do own their own business, and I trained them through this workbook, showing them how to discover and pinpoint. And it comes from the Proverbs 31 woman, actually, one passage of scripture in there that you just break it down into business principles, and it teaches you how to explode that all the way into marketing your gift and using your gift to help others.
All right, wait a minute. I've got a question.
This is amazing.
That is, were you afraid? Tell us the level of fear when you were homeless. Hit it.
There was quite a bit of fear, fear of the unknown. I think anytime you step out into something new, there's going to be an amount of fear. But we know that fear is false evidence appearing real. Most of the time we worry about things that never happen.
That's true.
And so, you know, just teaching my kids that there's opportunity in every obstacle and not being afraid of that. You know, there are opportunities out there that we may not even know. My 17-year-old son is a perfect example of overcoming an obstacle that turned into a business for him, and he's getting ready to open his own retail store at the age of 17.
At 17.
Yes.
So you're giving folks the principles and you're making it practical.
Absolutely.
Inside of a workbook. I mean,
Based on biblical principles, Tree.
Obtaining a business license, have a business plan. Let's talk about that. A business plan.
Yeah, a business plan.
How important is that?
It's extremely important, because if you don't have a focus, you know, without a vision, people will perish. You know, they must have that vision and purpose. And so a business plan is that vision. You're putting down, you know, where you're headed, what you want to do.
Absolutely.
And I encourage my kids and anyone else as well to not only have a focus, but have short-term goals, long-term goals. You know, if you just have those long-term goals, many times they seem so high and so out of reach that you'll never take those little steps to reach.
And you know, I think about, Kevin, you have an awesome story. You were bagging groceries.
I was
at what age?
14.
14.
Hit the ground running. When it was raining, I was sacking. When it was cold, when it was snowing, and but I always knew there was another better day coming.
Yes.
I always knew that. And you know, one part of her story, I remember when I got my first paycheck, $12 for the week. And my mother taught me the biblical principle about tithing. But boy, she taught me everything. So you say, well, Kev, you did so good. But it was a mother that taught. I think about your children, even when they're in their lowest valley.
Right. Yes.
What a strong woman. Was somebody pumping you up, telling you, hey, you can do it? Or when you were down, was it you driving the force?
It was really just me and God, just really knowing that He had always been there for me.
And you know the power of that, that's all you really needed.
without him, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
You know, I've had struggles, you know, in my past as well, and I know that he is the one that has got me where I'm at. And that if I can teach my children or anyone else anything, is that, you know, if they will just look to him, he will give them all the wisdom they need for everything.
You know, Treva's story, if you heard her story, you'd say, golly, Treva, I don't know how you got there. And then you heard my story. So everybody that's listening to us this morning,
that's right.
they've got obstacles that are overwhelming and bigger. They're giants in their lives.
Yes.
But when we hear yours, man, let's just keep on moving.
And even out of situations, you can turn a tragedy or whatever
into
mishap
a triumph. Come on.
Into a victorious. This is phenomenal. I mean, you went from being homeless to writing a book, to telling people about that you can make it.
To helping my children break that generational pattern of what we grew up in. My children
So what do you want your children to learn from you, Ann?
Just in a nutshell is to trust God for everything, because I think when they learn to do that, everything else will line up in their lives. They will understand where to go in their business. They will understand what decisions to make in their life. It's not listening to me that they need, it's listening to him.
She's good.
You heard that?
I heard it.
We gotta listen.
Keep going and keep growing.
You gotta listen. So what, is there a motto or motivational, something that, a piece that inspires you every day? Like, do you like to listen to me? What do you do for fun? Let's talk about that.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, what do you do for fun?
You know, we all need fun, and I encourage people, you know, not to feel guilty about that. I can be a better mom if I invest in myself. And I encourage other moms and everyone to do that very same thing. I love to get up in the morning with my coffee and my Bible, and I have this big cozy chair that I sit in, and the little Yorkie puppy sits on my lap. And so it's her and me time, her, me, and God, and it's just so relaxing, and it really
is that your space? Is that just your private time?
That is my time.
I think everyone needs a private.
That gets me
Do you have a private time, Kevin?
I do. So she reads her Bible every day.
Every morning,
and I read mine. You know, a few times I would leave the house in a rush, got to be in court. They're all over me. I'm dancing a jig. But man, if I forgot to read the Bible, put on the brakes, turn around, and go back. And because I know where my help cometh from.
That's right. That's it.
That's right.
How about you?
Yeah, I've just got a little room in my house that I go and
secret
it's just
place.
and I just love, and I can just spend that time and gather my thoughts and of course pray and reflect, because you know I'm a family person and you have children and so do you, and you know, but at the end of the day, you know, make sure we do the right thing and put God first, and you know, that's what it's all about, living our best life unto Him and being inspired and inspiring other people.
You know, I'm going to be thinking about her story.
I know you are.
All
yes, he
day
is. And talking about it,
and talking about it. That's the beautiful thing about the broadcast today. There's so many out here that may be confused or discouraged. And you really are the messenger of hope today. And I look to the hills, and where cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord. That's emissary for Him today.
So what would you like to say today, someone today who's watching Ann, that they're saying, you know, I want to do what Ann is doing, but I don't know how, I don't know where to begin. I'm out here on the street, I'm homeless. What do I do,
Come on, Ann, tell it.
Well, I would like to leave them with a quote, first of all, is, you know, hardship should be endured as a stepping stone, not embraced as a tombstone. You know, hardships, they come, they're difficult. We often don't see our way out of those at the moment we're in. But if we look and take those little steps, you know, just trusting the Lord, step by step, moment by moment, knowing that He has our future at hand, even though we can't see it, we don't even know what's ahead. If we just will hang on to that hope and take steps, though, move forward in faith and confidence that He can change our story.
You know, strong woman, both of y'all are strong women. Your children are blessed that you were strong women, because you didn't get run over and you didn't quit. And you said, no, we're going to come through. Don't know how we're going to come through. But you're going to get up and we're going to move forward. So what are we going to do? We're going to move ahead.
And we all have those moments where we feel like we might have been pushed in a corner. Ever been there? You know, but you come out, fight, and you get stronger. What would you think, what would you say for each of you and for myself has been the toughest thing that you felt in life that you had to endure? For me, I feel it was the loss of my mom. It was a painful place, but God brought me through that place. What about you, Kevin? What was a tough place for you?
I've seen some cases that have been so overwhelming because the people were hurting so bad, and that ride you and ride you and ride you. And I guess that's one of the things that I love my work,
Yeah.
and I love to help people, and so I feel their pain, and I want to give them some inspiration. There's another day.
Yeah,
There's
I like
another
that.
day.
I think for me, when those you love the most and that are closest to you hurt you, I think that's very difficult.
We've been there.
That's another place.
It's part of life.
That's
We've been
right, because
disappointed.
all people are going to disappoint us at some point in time, but God never changes. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And when those people in our life hurt us,
Yes.
we need to remember that we're in a battle every day, and they are not our enemy. That
Yeah.
it is Satan who's our enemy. And if we
Spiritual
can,
warfare.
look at it that way, I think we can overcome the bitterness
Right.
when we
we
see that.
want you to stick around because we're going to come back more with AnnHaney. She's our guest today.
See ya.
We're back, and thank you for sticking around. More with Treva and
Kevin, here we are this morning.
Ann.
Yes,
Yes.
Ann.
Ann, it's been phenomenal.
It's been a
We have
great
enjoyed
show with
you.
you. Yes.
Oh, it's been fun.
Because there's so much going on in your life, and we want you to go to her website and just purchase all of her products, but because it's worth it. Kevin, it's your time now to
No, watch
shine.
out. You don't have to.
We, every end of the show,
You don't
close
have
of the
to do
show,
this.
we do Legal Corner with Kevin. And we like to ask Kevin a legal question. So we're going to ask AnnHaney
Ann,
to
okay.
ask Kevin a question. Hit it, Ann.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's hear it, Ann.
When we were in that time of homelessness, one of the things people don't many times think about is, you pack up, you got all your stuff, everything you have is with you.
Yes.
So what about the liability of having all your things with you and the people that you're around? What would the answer be to that?
Well,
and how
one
you
of the
deal with it?
questions that face everybody is our constant liability wherever we are. And in that situation, if you didn't have anywhere to go, if you were to put up your tent or you were just here, the landowner has a right to try to charge you with criminal trespass.
Okay.
And you didn't mean to break the law. You don't want to break the law. They're supposed to notify you once.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter, you take on liability every day. So when the children say, well, I'm going backpacking, Mom, and I'm going to spend the night here, you really ought to try to chart them out a little bit because they can get in trouble. And you say, well, how did you find out your kid was at the wrong place?
Okay.
I'll tell you how you found out. They call and say, hey, your child's down here at juvenile court, and they've been picked up for a curfew violation.
Yeah.
But there's liability on everything we do.
Yes.
So I think the word to our viewing audience is to tell your families, your children, and your grandchildren, and your nephews about being sensitive because you're going to have some liability, both potentially criminal liability, and then they could sue you civilly.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
So,
I tell you what, and we want you to send us all of your legal questions
Yes.
because, I mean, I've got a legal question.
all right, hit it, Tree.
Okay,
Can I turn on the clock now? And
Yes,
bill you?
I've got, that was great, Ann, but I've got one.
She won't let me bill her.
Say you have a child that keeps running away from home. What
Yes.
can you do?
Well, in the state of Tennessee, what you have is you can take out a juvenile dependent where the child is just out of control. They call
Okay.
it unruly. And should a parent do that? Absolutely. Because if you don't get a grip on the child in juvenile court, don't worry. The criminal court will be much tougher,
Ooh.
will be more expensive, more brutal.
Okay.
And so you say, I hate to have my child arrested. You're really doing them a favor by
Yeah.
taking a proactive approach. Intervene.
Okay.
You'd much rather have them in a juvenile detention center overnight
That's right.
or
tough
2
love.
days
Yeah.
and let them break the cycle.
Yes.
So what do I say? Always take a proactive approach. And some guys are just really hard-headed. They're not going to listen until some authority comes in, and if they're pushing mom and dad, that's what the courts are
So
for.
turn them over if you
Yeah,
have
absolutely. Pick up that phone and call the police.
to. Call the police, let them come get that child.
Right then.
All right, you've heard it from Kevin Kennedy. So, Ann, it's been great being with you today.
It has.
Any final last remark or comment about what's coming up for you?
Wow, getting ready to co-host a radio show and
Oh, my.
start my own television talk show. so
Yes.
I'm
Look at her go.
excited about
That's
that.
Hey, get Treva as a guest on here. She's a real talker.
Oh, my goodness.
I would love to. I would love to. God is good. You know, the opportunity follows you when you open yourself to be willing to be used of Him.
Amen.
Beautiful. Well, your vessel being used. Kevin, any words of encouragement?
Man,
to-
I'm just so fired up.
I
with
know
her
you
story.
are.
I'm going to take her idea. That's what I like to do, take somebody else's idea and go to the next
You're
level.
going to start couponing.
Cuba, yes.
I'll
I want to
teach you
see.
how. I'll take you
I want to
shopping.
see those food banks all across
I
Tennessee.
love it.
I want to see them
Okay.
benefit from her brains.
Wow. Well, will you come back and join us again, be a guest again, and talk more about how we can save money and cut those corners and how we can help a lot of people?
I'll take you shopping.
How about, wouldn't that be great?
Knowledge is power.
Maybe we can have some reality TV with Ann at the supermarket.
At Publix. Let's get on down there. That's where she got the award, was Publix.
Yeah. I want to see that receipt.
We'll break the record. You set the record last time. We'll break the record the next time.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you, Kevin and I, for joining us today. We love this show. We love bringing it to your home. And we want you to invite a friend right back here. That's right.
Yeah, well, you know, no one could see the show today and not feel inspired.
I feel inspired.
Going out there and hit that world.
Yes.
Make a difference in your community and your family and your church.
That's right.
And you encouraged us, and we're encouraging you. It's good. I'm Kevin Kennedy, along with Treva, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Who pressed the brakes on this race? I am running. I gave the steering wheel to my doubt and fear. Now I'm slowing. I shift the blame in the same direction as I always do, doubting myself instead of running straight to you. It's time for lies to be lost and to see you throw them into. At the end of the day, it's not about what others say. I won't stop, let their words drop. I might have to get up, but I'll never give up. At the end, I'll hear you say that you're proud of me. There were times I was blind-eyed to the choice I made. Now I realize that a compromise could control my fate. Control my fate. I shift the blame in a new direction. No more doubting myself. Instead, I'm running straight to you. It's time for lies to be lost and to see you throw them into. At the end of the day, it's not about what others say. I won't stop, let their words drop. I might have to get up, but I'll never give up. At the end, I'll hear you say that you're proud of me. Don't walk, don't quit. It's time to ride. Get your eyes fixed. Get your eyes